friends, welcome to episode 150 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, where by Florida standards it's a little bit chilly, but I wanted to get out here and film this because my plan was to film yesterday. That didn't work. Yesterday was Sunday the 27th. Today is Monday the 28th because that's how dates work. And it's the last day of February. It's the last day of my birthday month. So yeah. So let's get into today's video with some admin. So the Pisces season make-along is like rolling. I'm very excited about it. My glasses keep fogging up. Very excited about it. I love seeing you guys' projects, and it just like makes me very happy to see all the blues and greens and like water themed things. Thumbs up, thumbs up. And these are the rules. I say rules very loosely because, you know, it's not like you have to make a specific pattern or something like that. But I hope that you participate. If you have something that fits any of these criteria, you can definitely join in. This is run on Instagram, so you would post your picture and hashtag it with hashtag Pisces Season MAL 2022. Yeah, so I'm following that hashtag, so of course I'll be seeing everyone's pictures popping up, and it just makes me very happy, like I said already, but you guys get it. Okay, so the next bit of admin, I'll bring it over here. Got the notes that you guys can never see. But the next bit of admin also has to do with the Pisces season make-along. So normally I will like go through my stash looking for things to provide as prizes for make-alongs. I've also purchased from a few other businesses, but it's been a while since I asked if anyone had any donations they wanted to make for prizes for a make-along. So if you are a business and you would like to donate something, one of your products or something like that, as a prize for the Pisces season make-along, you can definitely send me a message on Instagram at Nadira Tani, or the email for this podcast, which is quirkymonday@gmail.com. So reach out, let me know if you want to supply prizes, because I think that would be fun. It would be something different, right? Not just like always the same things. Like if it's coming from me, it's probably going to be yarn or a bag, because that's what I do. But it would be nice to have something from someone else in our community. I think that would be great. No pressure, of course. So that is everything from the Pisces season, or regarding the Pisces season make-along. You still have like 3 weeks left to join in. The more the merrier. Huzzah. The next piece of admin is an update. So last episode I was telling you all about the Out of the Darkness walk that I was participating in, and I think, yeah, during that episode I was saying how it would be really cool if we could reach $1,000 for donations. And I am so very happy to let y'all know that as of last night, we were at $1,350 of donations for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and that just overwhelms me with gratitude and excitement and pride, and just like all the warm fuzzies. Like, thank you for doing this. Like, thank you for chipping in, for anyone who donated, for anyone who shared about me raising this money. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom, the sides, and the top of my heart. I'm pretty sure that the donations end today, like the fundraiser. I'm pretty sure it ends today. I will double check that to, make sure, but I am just completely blown away, like completely and utterly blown away at the fact that we were able to raise $1,350. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Y'all can tell that I have been like working all day in my like professional zone, and right now my energy is just like bleh. It's fine. It makes for good podcasting, I guess. Yeah. So, there are some baby Godzillas in the bush, so if you hear scurrying and shenanigans off camera, it's the baby Godzillas in the bush. Don't y'all know I'm recording over here? Be quiet. I see you. Yes. So next we will talk about bright spots. And bright spots are a segment of the podcast where I share your positive moments. So each week I ask you all to share a bright spot in the comments. That can be something good that happened to you, something encouraging, anything like that. You can share them in the comments, and I will pick a few to share on the next podcast. So this week's bright spot comes from Cat Yarn, and Cat Yarn said, "My company has decided on giving their employees 2 extra days off called wellness days this year, which made my last weekend a long weekend." That's amazing. Thumbs up to your company for providing wellness days, because mental health is important. Like, it wasn't until my last job at a call center was like, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. And it wasn't until that job that I actually would use my paid time off to just take a day off and be like, this is a mental health day. So to know that your company has put into their benefits or whatever, or the things that they provide their employees, to know that they've given 2 wellness days is just, it makes me feel really good that there are companies out there that think about their employees this way. Honestly, I still have kind of a hard time taking, days off. Like, the job that I'm working now doesn't stress me out on the mental health tip as much as the call center job did. But, it's still important to take time when you need it, because you deserve rest. Is that a mosquito? Oh, we're gonna have to podcast fast, y'all, because the skeeters are out. Also because the sun is setting. As you can see, the light has changed. Okay, so thank you so much, Kat, for sharing your bright spot. Thank you so much, Kat, for sharing your bright spot. I definitely appreciate it. So if you would like to share a bright spot, leave it in the comments below. Like I said, that can be anything good that happened to you. It doesn't even have to be something recent. It can be something from like whenever. But I firmly believe that by sharing the good things that happen to each of us, it reinforces the fact that there is good in the world, which right now, as I'm sure everybody is aware, this world is a super scary place, to make a gross understatement, right? there are so many big, scary, horrible things that are happening all around us, and just I don't even think I have words for like the way that I feel, right? But one of the thoughts and one of the feelings that keeps resurfacing whenever I think about what's going on everywhere is like, first I'll feel kind of guilty about sharing something good, about sharing something that made me happy or that made me laugh, right? So I start feeling like I shouldn't be sharing this because there are so many negative things that are happening, and I need to be respectful of those negative things, or not respectful of the negative things, respectful of the people experiencing those negative things. But one of the things that I read today as I was scrolling on Instagram was joy is medicine. And when I read that, it resonated very deeply with me in the sense that there are so many bad things that are always happening, right? And that gets really heavy and really hard. And I feel like even the words that I'm using are not big enough to encompass the feeling that these things cause. But joy is medicine. And one thing about medicine is that you have to choose to take it. So in spite of the things that are happening around us, I can choose to actively put something good into the world. And that's what I try to do. You know, I am actively trying to radiate positivity, right? If you're a longtime viewer, you know, like a few years ago, that was my word of the year. And then it just became the word of the year all the time because it's such a on point thing of what I want to be and what I want to do. I want to radiate positivity. I want people to feel better when they're around me. I want to cause people to think of what good is happening in your life despite whatever may also be happening in your life. There is still good somewhere. And it may even be the teeniest, tiniest little bit of good, like a little piece of glitter in a like yard full of mud. You know, that little piece of glitter is still there. And that might be the only good thing, right? But I have to look for it. I have to as long as I am able, right? I have to try. So I'm gonna keep flinging good things at this camera and yelling out into the void, not even necessarily the void, into the endlessness of the internet to say good things are happening. There is good. There is something to smile about in any place. There is something to smile about. Yeah. So on that note, flood the comments with your bright spots. And if you are in a place where you're having a hard time finding a bright spot, read the comments. Celebrate someone else's bright spot. Maybe it will help you see yours, because there are bright spots everywhere. So yeah, I hope you accept the challenge to find something good and comment it. Yeah. my bright spot this week was a piece of happy mail that I got from my friend Heather, who is Bunnyfish on Instagram. She also has a podcast, which is really delightful, so you should definitely check her out. But Heather sent me a card in the mail, and it says, "You are enough." And on the back, she said, "Kalisha, just wanted to send you a little love bomb. You are amazing." And this is just an index card with some washi tape on it. And she wrote a little note, put some doodles, and a stamp. And this is amazing. This little love bomb is just, it's such a good thing, right? And it's like not even a lot to do, right? We all have, I mean, if you went to high school, you probably have index cards, you know, and a stamp. That's it. And that's enough to brighten somebody's day, to tell someone that you thought of them. I'm definitely going to incorporate this into my like things that I want to do in general, because this is just, we should all do this. We should all be like Heather and get us a little index card, draw or write something encouraging on the front, and just mail that index card to somebody that you know, especially in these days. And then if you don't have anybody's snail mail, do that, take a picture of it and email it to somebody. Send it in an Instagram DM, post it on your feed in your story and say, "This is for you. Whoever you are that is looking at this screen right now, this is for you." And now I'm gonna go inside because the light is gone and the skeeters are trying to have me for dinner, and we are not about that life. So, be right back. Okay, we are back in the house, in my room. I do have you guys perched up on a stack of pillows, so if there's some wobble, that's what's going on. Also, if you hear little feet, that's Kevin too. They want to get up here on the bed, but then there would be no steady camera at all, so they cannot. All right, so let's start off with finished objects. I have two finished objects, one right here and the other just to the side of me. So this that I'm wearing, this beautiful lace cardigan, is the Summer Grace cardigan by Knit Crow Addict, and it is made of cotton, lace front and back. The back matches this lace, and it was super easy. Now I want to make a million of them. I also think this would be really cool as like a duster length cardigan. Like, do y'all remember dusters? Am I like dating myself right now? I was in love with dusters, which are basically long, loose fitting cardigans that went down to like your mid-calf. Delightful. Loved them. I had like 4. It was a good time. But I think this will look really nice in like a duster length. So that might happen, because this whole project, start to finish, took me less than a week. Yeah. Because I started this, it took me about a week. And that is not even crocheting for a super long amount of time. And then one of the fronts I finished and then realized I missed a row of the lace and had to frog back and recrochet it. And yeah, definitely recommend. This was a free pattern from Knit Crow Addict, and this was my first pattern I've done by her. So what I like to do whenever I'm trying out a new designer is I like to check and see if they have free patterns, because everybody doesn't write the same. Like, everybody does not explain things the same way. Even if you have your patterns like tech edited and tested and everything, the way that you explain something may not be the way that someone else understands, even if the way you're explaining it is completely like good, right? So whenever I'm trying out a new designer for the first time, I like to look and see if they have something free, so that I can kind of get a sense of their voice, if you will. And the way that this designer explained the pattern and organized the pattern was really nice. So really enjoy it. I haven't worn it out. I was going to wear it out Sunday, but then I decided to change my entire outfit. So I get to wear this for you guys on the podcast today. This yarn is, I love this cotton in the teal colorway, and I used all 6 balls that I had. I found a bag of this at the thrift store and was really happy to be able to use all of that yarn in one project with no leftovers. Like, chef's kiss. But I did do some modifications to the construction, and then another little modification to use up more yarn. The biggest thing that I changed was how the sleeves were crocheted. The original pattern asks you to crochet them flat and then seam from the end of the sleeve all the way down the body. I didn't want to do that because I hate seaming. Like, I seamed the shoulders and was like, that's enough of that. So what I did was I seamed the shoulders, and then I tried it on to see about where I wanted the sleeve to end, or like the armpit to be, and then I pinned these together with a stitch marker, and then I pinned the bottom together with a stitch marker, and then I crocheted directly into the opening the number of stitches that I needed for the sleeve, and then I just crocheted in turned rounds. So instead of crocheting in a spiral, or not a spiral, instead of crocheting, joining, chaining up, and then crocheting that round so that all of the stitches are facing the same way, I would crochet around, join, chain up, and then crochet back the other way. So each of mine is alternating, so you get that look like it was crocheted flat and then seamed, but I didn't seam it. So I really like how it came out. Did that on both sides. And then the top seam, did I do a mattress stitch? Yes, I did a mattress stitch for the top seam, and then I realized, or I remembered, that I dislike doing the mattress stitch. So the sides are slip stitched together, which puts, oh gosh, which gives you like this little ridge where the pieces come together. But I feel like that makes it look like a commercial sweater, you know what I mean? So yeah, I also like that the slip stitch seaming is going to give a lot of structure, especially since this is cotton. Cotton will stretch out and then that's it. Yeah, so the seaming will help it hold more of its shape in the long run, which I appreciate. So other than that change to how I crocheted the sleeves, I didn't change anything else about the body or about the piece in itself. When I finished putting it all together, I went and crocheted around the edge to do the edging, and it's a little picot edging. Well, you can see it on my shirt. It's a picot edging, which I never crochet picots. And why? I need to picot more things, like picot all the things, right? But I really like the little dainty edge. I will be picoing, just know. So after I did all of that, I knew that however much yarn I had left over was the amount that I could lengthen it. So the original length of this cardigan, and this is all before blocking. I have not washed or pressed or steamed this at all, so I know it's going to grow a little bit, but the original length of it was just too short for me. Like, I don't like cropped items, so I will lengthen things if it is something that is meant to be cropped. I will lengthen it. So I wanted this to be a little bit longer. So after I crocheted up the whole piece, following, you know, all of the instructions straight through, I used all the remaining yarn to crochet back and forth across the bottom. So okay, so this is my seam here, and then I was able to crochet 4 extra rows of just regular double crochet back and forth across the bottom, which gave me maybe about 2 more inches of length, of unblocked length, which makes it a really, really nice length for me. So because I know that it's at a length that I like, I'm probably not going to block it or anything for a while. And then because it's super lacy, it's not going to get like sweaty or anything like that, so I won't have to run it through the washing machine for a while. So I get to enjoy it at this length. Part of me wants to go ahead and block it and stretch it out to see where that lands, to see how I feel about it. But it's not like I'm going to rip it back. That's not happening. But yeah. Oh, and the last thing I did, this was the last little bit of yarn that I had. I just did a long chain, cut it in half, and sewed it to either end. Right here, just so that I could tie it together. I look a little disheveled because things are not lining up right. There we go. So that I could tie the front together, because I love an open front cardigan, but I also like to be able to pull it together because it's just super cute that way, right? So that is my Summer Grace cardigan by Knit Crow Addict. Definitely recommend. You should make one. And this was my first project for the Pisces season make along, and I love it. Thumbs up. So my next finished object is my birthday blanket. So last episode I was telling you all that I was going to square off, like finish out my birthday blanket, do a border around it, and then extend it to make it bigger, like bed size. But then I actually squared it off, and I was just like, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah. So this is another project where I was able to use up every bit of yarn. And man, oh man, is that satisfying. But yeah. Here is my blanket. I love it. So good. So exciting. Ugh. So what I ended up doing for the border, as you can see, well, it doesn't show very well there, but yeah, it is a multicolored border, and that is because I took all of the leftover yarn from all of the minis. So I had not a full 25, because some of the minis I did use up the whole 20 grams to do the square. But I used all of the yarn that was left over. I knotted it into a magic cake, and then I did the granny stitch around the whole blanket. The only edit that I had to make was the last row. So I have 3 rows of border. The last row, when I was just crocheting regular granny, I got all the way to the end and hadn't finished using out my yarn. And it was like a little nugget that was left. So I ripped back that 4th side and did 4 double crochets instead of 3 double crochets for the granny clusters, and still had yarn left over. So then I ripped back all the way, like the whole 3rd row I ripped back, and I did 4 stitch clusters all the way around, and then to use up more yarn. And then on the last, like the last half of the last side, I went back down to 3 stitch clusters, and that allowed me to finish with like this much yarn left. And then I just wove that in, and again, using out all of the yarn for a project, very satisfying. So this is my first blanket, blanket that has been made out of wool. I think all of the other blankets that I've ever made have been acrylic. So I kind of want to block this, but then at the same time, this is fingering weight. I used a 5mm hook, so it's very lacy. And I know that if I block it, it's going to stretch it out and make the whole thing very lacy, and I don't think that's really what I want. So this is just going to chill, like in its unblocked state, and I'm very, very happy with it. It has been christened by my dogs. They have already slept on it, snoring, foot twitching, and everything. So it's nice that my blanket is Kiva and Toot approved. I also put together a little video showing each block, like a close-up of each block, and I'll put that in here. So last episode I told you guys that one of my friends and I went to do a pottery class, and we got our pottery back. So I want to show you the finished pieces. So we'll start with Not My Bowl. That is what I'm calling this piece. So the inside is this like really, really nice light mint, kind of a pistachio color. And then the outside is like a light teal, light tealy turquoisey color. They put my name on the back with January 30th, 2022, which is when we went to the class. This is called Not My Bowl because I did not make this bowl. This was the replacement bowl that the shop gave me when something happened to mine. We're not going to belabor that. It's fine because I have this bowl, and this is my bowl. So this is the second bowl that I threw on the wheel, and I really like how it came out. I was only able to paint the outside of this because we ran out of time. It matches, but yeah, the inside is just the white color of the clay when it fires. And yeah, so I have been using this as a teeny tiny yarn bowl. When I was making my blanket, I would put my mini in it, and it just made me very happy to be like, I made this bowl and I'm working out of it. So yeah, teeny tiny bowls. I would definitely do a pottery class again. Yeah, I would love to make something bigger than the teeny tiny bowls, but I don't know how I can make that happen. Like, can you just like, I don't know, reserve time? Anyway, I would love to get more into pottery, but it's a lot. Okay, so now that is all of my finished objects. So works in progress. The only work in progress that has had any progress is my basic raglan sweater that I'm making using a Karen, what is this? Karen Crystal Cakes in the Dusk colorway. This is giving me amethyst, gemstone, birthday month vibes. I really wanted to have it done for February, but I was not like super like gung-ho about that because this took all of my time and excitement. So that's what the yarn looks like, and this is where I am on the sweater. So the little purple gummy bear is where I was the last time you saw it, and I have done probably all of 3 inches. This piece is really slow going because I am alternating from the inside and outside of the ball to avoid this kind of color pooling. So up here, like right at the neck, is where I was just knitting with 1 strand, and it, you know, it color pooled, and I didn't really want a stripy sweater for real. So I'm alternating, and while it is still lightly striping, it's not as stark as it was up here, so I can dig it. And this is just slowly but surely making my way around. I've been knitting on this a lot while rewatching The Magicians on Netflix. I really enjoyed that show the first time I watched it through. Elliot is my favorite character, if you wanted to know. But yeah, so I'm rewatching that and knitting. That is the only work in progress that I have. My pebble tunic, the black sweater that I was working on, I have yet to join another ball of yarn to that because it's just stockinette all in the round, because I'm not going to do the pockets that come in that pattern. So I think I have like, I don't know, 6 more inches of stockinette to do, and then I have to do the sleeves. So pray church. But even though it's black, it's worked in cotton, so I should be able to wear it in the summer. I'm really looking forward to wearing more of my handmade pieces to work, considering, you know, we're back in the office 2 days a week, or I'm back in the office 2 days a week. So I'm looking forward to wearing more of my handmade pieces. So yeah, you know, you gotta make the best of it. Being out in public and having to wear real pants. Okay, so like I said, that's everything for works in progress. So we'll go on to maker plans. So I have a couple maker plans on my list. The first is a pattern that I bought for my birthday. It came out on the 21st, I think. And it's I think it's Mammatus. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'll put it on the screen. It's by Gabby Matthews, and Gabby has the Knit Witch podcast here on YouTube. So another really cute podcast. You should definitely check it out. She has like a really nice calm vibe that just makes me smile whenever I see her episodes coming up. So this is a shawl. It's the Mammatus shawl. It's a 3-color shawl, so I have to kind of figure out what colors I want to do. Originally, I wanted to go down to the ForTheFrills yarn store for my birthday. That didn't work out, but I'm playing around with the idea of going down there and getting their February club color, and using that as one of the colors, or like the center color in the shawl. But then I have to find 2 other colors to work with it, and blah blah blah. So I definitely know I want to make the shawl, but I have to decide what colors I'm going to use. Another maker plan that I have is a crocheted Monstera leaf. So as you may know, I have a huge Monstera plant that lives on my front porch, and it is magnificent. I love it. It's got, its biggest leaf is like this big, and it brings me so much joy. So I think somebody tagged me in this Monstera, this crochet Monstera leaf pattern, and I immediately went and bought it. So I want to crochet at least 2 and make earrings, because I think that that would be like the epitome of yarny plant mama if I crocheted myself Monstera leaf earrings, right? I'm here for it. Yeah. So it is the Crochet Monstera leaf by Michelle Hernandez, and I will put in a picture so you can see it. But that's definitely something on my maker plans list, because it's so tiny and I could just like knock it out and have that kind of instant gratification make that just spurs you on to create other things, right? Want to make that. The last thing that I have on my maker plans list is the Forest Breeze tee by ForTheFrills. And that's really just because I want more crochet tops. And yeah, so I've never, again, this is one of those situations where I've never made anything by the designer before. So I went looking to see if they had anything free. And she actually has a lot of patterns on her blog. So I was able to find the pattern on her blog, and I will be making this tee. So here is a picture of the Forest Breeze tee that I want to make. Another one that I didn't write on here, but something that I want to do, and I decided that I pushed it up higher in my maker plans queue, is another knit crow attic pattern, and it is the, I forget the name of the tank top, but it is an A-line tank top with spaghetti straps. And the reason that I'm pushing this higher in my queue of things that I want to make is because Stacy of Stress Knits is hosting a I don't know if it's a cow or a make along, like a knit along or a make along. I don't know if crochet is okay. I'm gonna have to double check. But she's having a cow where you make bralettes or tank tops, and it's called the Thank You Next cow, I think. And it's going into June because it ends at the summer solstice, I think. So I definitely want to make a tank top. I have had a couple times where I started a tank top and then just fizzled out. So this is going to be one that I really want to make. One of the things that I like about this tank top is that because it's A-line, it's going to be like flowy. And I'm really not here for anything that is like close to skin, that's like figure hugging, because that is not the life I'm living right now. So I'm excited to make that. I did pull out some yarn and trying to figure out how I want to make it, if I have enough yarn to make it, because I think the pattern is done in lace weight, and there is absolutely no way I'm crocheting with lace weight. That's not happening. So I pulled out some of my fingering weight singles, which this is going to cross over into stash positions, because one of the yarns one of the yarns specifically was recently given to me. So I will show that to you as we're talking about this tank top. So Marquita of the Marquita Makes podcast sent this yarn to me, and I got it the day after my birthday. So I was like, yay, celebration yarn. So this is Malabrigo Machita, and I don't remember the color. Oh, here it is. The color is Piano. Machita is a single ply 100% superwash yarn. I don't remember if it's merino. I don't have a tag anywhere. But yeah. So at first I was going to use this in the Mammatus shawl, but then decided against it because I don't have a lot of singles in my stash. So there's that. So I'm toying with the idea of, see, I don't like these on this camera though. In my eyes, I kind of like it, but on camera, I kind of don't. Not sure. But I also have this one. Yeah, I don't think I'm liking this at all, honestly. But anyway, let me finish talking. This one is a definite. So I want to crochet this top, and if I could use these together, that would be great. If I can get the whole top out of one ball, that would be great. But since crochet eats yarn for breakfast, I don't think that is possible. So I might have to do a contrasting something. And I think out of the two, this teal would be best. Plus, this is also Machita. So they're the same base, the same brand. I feel like this would be a better plan, you know? Like for the long haul, at least I know that these are probably going to act the same. This is, I think, lamb strings, and it was given to me a few years ago. And because I don't have a lot of singles, I never used it because I didn't really know what to do with it. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to do some doodling and figuring, because I like this. I like this. But I'm not sure if I like this. You like this? I don't know. I don't know. We're not sure. Oh, I could potentially do something like this, because this one reads a little bit purple on screen. And then we have like an analogous color scheme. Who knows? Who knows? We're playing around with that. And whichever way I flip it, this will also fit for the Pisces season make-along, as long as I use one of these colors. Yeah, so somehow that's going to grow up into a tank top for the Thank You Next cow. Then what else do I have in stash positions? I have patterns that I've purchased. So recently I've kind of been on a pattern purchasing kick. And I bought 2 patterns from Heather of HG Designs Crochet. I bought her Allsorts cardigan and her Festivities socks. So if you are familiar with Heather, she is a lover of the granny square. She has a deep and abiding love for the granny square. And so she does all of these designs specifically focusing on granny squares, which is really nice, because I think a lot of people look at the granny square and they think like, oh, like not fashionable crochet, like boo. But the way, I really like the way that that Heather uses them. I've also purchased a couple of her other patterns, and she has one called, I think it's called Invested, and it is a granny square vest that has like a V-neck, and it has like stripes around the neck, I believe. I'm going off of memory, but it gives me that varsity vest kind of vibe. You like that alliteration? But yeah, I really like the way that she plays with granny squares, and I just love that she loves granny squares, period. Like regardless of what everybody else is doing, Heather is like, you know what I love? Granny squares. You know what I'm gonna make? Hundreds of granny squares. I'm like, you know what? Do you, boo? Yes, here for it. So I think I might make the festivity socks first, just because they look like they would be really cozy to wear around the house. But anyway, those aren't active you know, in the maker plans yet, but you know, they're in the front of my brain. That is everything for Stashquisitions. So we will go on to Plant Mama Life and whatnot. So, my birthday was last Thursday. I am now 36. And I had a really, really pleasant birthday weekend. I took off work on Friday. It was like 3/4 of a day on my birthday. Then I was off on Friday. Sabbath, I spent at home doing nothing and being quiet. Saturday night, we had a game night at my in-laws. And Sunday, I went to a plant swap. So it was just a week, like a long weekend full of things that make me happy. And I think that's like a perfect way to spend a birthday. So let's see. So game night, we played Uno, and I taught my mother-in-law the Cowboy Uno rules. If you have not ever played Cowboy Uno, Google it, learn the rules. It gets rowdy. It's a lot of fun. I teach everybody Cowboy Uno whenever they're like, let's play Uno. And I'm like, you know what we should do? Cowboy Uno. So there's that. And that was fun to teach her how to do it. And we played, what is that? Culture tags. We played culture tags, which was fun. And just really spent time together, you know, being in each other's presence and laughing. Someone said, I don't remember who said it, but they were like, I don't remember the last time I laughed so much and so hard. And that just made me feel very good, you know, because I want, like I said earlier, you know, I want people to be like, to have those moments where they laugh until their sides hurt, right? Because looking back on those things is what gets us through moments where we are not feeling our best. So yeah, I had a really good birthday. I had a really good, you know, fun game night with my in-laws and family. And then Sunday, I went to the plant swap, which I made myself stay the whole time. I've never stayed for the whole swap. And it's not even long. It's like 2 hours. And I got there like 30 minutes late. So I was out there for a whole hour and a half. And it felt like I was out there for 17 hours. I kid you not. But took a lot of deep breathing when I first got out there to not go into that anxiety tunnel vision that will happen to me oftentimes when I'm around strangers. But yeah, I spoke to like 4 or 5 people, and you know, it was a good experience. And I got a couple plants from the free table. So at this swap, there's a Facebook group where the last Friday of the month they have a like freebie swap thread in the group where people post things that they're going to be getting rid of, and other people can claim them. And then on Sunday at the swap, because it's always the last Sunday of the month, Sunday at the swap, you can meet up with your person, do your exchange, your swap, or pick up whatever it is you claimed. That's one way that people do the swap. There's also a free table. So I typically just operate in the free table because I don't really talk to people a lot. So I will pull like cuttings and plants from my collection that are no longer bringing me joy, and I take them and I put them on the free table, and then I pick, you know, like if I bring 3, I pick up 3 or something like that. But then I pick something new that I want to try. And I really like trying out new plants that way because it's like, it's not as intense as buying a new plant, you know, and being like, I don't really know how to take care of this yet. We're trying this out, but I spent money on it. So now if it dies, I feel like I wasted money. But this way, if it's a free plant of something that you wanted to try and you really enjoy it, you can always, you know, purchase a bigger one or propagate it or whatever like that. If it's a free plant that you wanted to try and you hate it, or it hates you and just dies on you, you're not out anything. So this time I picked up 3 plants from the free table, and then I had a swap that I claimed, or a freebie that I claimed from the thread to pick up. So the freebie that I picked up were these. They look like bugs. They're not. These are string of hearts seeds. So I'll put a picture of my string of hearts here. And my string of hearts is, like, I have been building this plant. And I say that to mean I've been buying little plants of string of hearts, and then I pot them together to get a fuller plant. I've tried propagating them, but it didn't work out. So I'm going to try propagating them again. But I also wanted to try growing them from seed. So when I saw somebody, I saw this and then I thought that would be fun to try. So I saw this person was giving away packets of string of heart seeds, and I thought, why not? I'll try it. So I got that. And then the other plant that I have one of the plants in here. One of the plants I picked up was a cutting of a Monstera. So I have that in water rooting because I'm building I want my Monstera to be huge, like massive and just monstrous. Like I want a huge Monstera plant. So whenever I see like a small cutting, not even a small cutting, like whenever I see a cutting at the swap, if it's like one that looks like they would probably throw it away, I bring it home so that I can like rehab it and then plant it in with my baby outside. So I got a Monstera cutting, and then the other thing that I got was a Syngonium albo cutting. It's like a single node of a Syngonium albo. So it is currently in my propagation box outside. Hopefully it will root and I can grow a plant from that. If it does, that'll be like my fanciest plant, I think, because I don't have anything else that's really variegated. But I fancy. Not really. So let me tell you about my last plant that I got that I'm the most excited about, because I think I am turning into Kalisha, the mother of the weird plants, because I have this plant and I have some lithops, which I'll show you as well, because they're growing and they're just the weirdest little things. So I have actually loved seeing this particular plant for years. I follow the Dainty Squid, and I used to read her blog back in the day when like reading blogs was the thing, like in the days before Instagram. You would read people's blogs, and I would follow her blog, and she had this pencil cactus that she got small and then was able to cultivate this huge, massive pencil cactus, and it just looked insane, and I loved it. And I thought how cool it would be to have one, but I didn't really want to buy one for those reasons I said earlier, just in case I accidentally kill it, I'll feel bad. So I was standing looking at the free table to see if there was anything I wanted, and this lady walked up with this. This thing looked completely ridiculous. I love it though. But this is a pencil cactus, and these are all cuttings of the one that she had. She said hers was getting too tall, so she just chopped it off. And right now they're all in soil, trying to root. Like, none of them have roots yet. So, yeah, I got a pencil cactus, and I have been describing this as a child's drawing that came to life. Right? Like, this looks like there was like a drawing of a pot, and then someone told a 3-year-old to draw a plant, and they just scribbled with a green crayon. I love it. It makes me very happy. And one of the things I like about this plant is when it gets a lot of light, like when it gets sun stressed, it will turn like yellow and orange and, you know, like red, like it's on fire. And I just think that that is just so cool and so crazy. So I can't wait until this roots and establishes. I think what I also want to do is maybe take a couple of these cuttings out of this pot and put them in a smaller pot, because I do like having smaller plants. But yeah, man, this baby is so weird and delightful. So that is my pencil cactus. I really am Kalisha, mother of the weird plants. Speaking of weird plants, here are my lithops. So I used to have, I think, 6, but I accidentally killed 3 of them, and that was because I thought they were dead, or they were dying, because this is one of those succulents that has a very specific way that you have to water it, and it stopped growing. They started shriveling up. So I thought maybe I let it go too long between waterings. Oh, my leg was cramping. I thought I let it go too long between waterings, so I pulled it out of the soil to look at the roots, and the roots were all shriveled up. So I was like, oh no. So I put them into some damp sphagnum moss to kind of rehydrate, and they loved that. They started rehydrating, getting plump again, and then started putting out new leaves. Now with lithops, which I'm finding out now, is when they're actively growing, you don't water them, because they will take on too much water and then rot from the inside out. Bless their hearts. So that is how I lost 3 of my lithops, because they started rotting and I didn't realize it. So I just recently put them in here. They're in a tall pot for how small they are, like in comparison to how small they are, because they grow tap roots, which is like one main root that goes straight down. So you want to give them a lot of space, or that's what the internet says. So they are the weirdest looking little buggers, and they just bring me joy. So those are my lithops. So this one here has not split. So this is what they look like when it's just not growing. It just looks like a little rock or the top of a tooth. Then as they grow, it will split open at that line there, that division. It'll split open, and then the next set of leaves will come out from between the existing leaves, and then this new leaf will take all of its nutrients from the old leaf. So as you can see, this leaf, it looks like it's withering, and that's because the new leaves are drawing the moisture and the nutrients from the old leaf. And these old leaves will dry out, and then they'll eventually fall off and, you know, die off the plant. So watching these, it's just so fascinating that there is a plant that exists like this. And honestly, I want more lithops. I lucked out and found these at like Home Depot or Lowe's one day and have yet to see any other ones. So I always look whenever I'm in there, and I hope to come across more lithops, but I just, oh, my weird plants. I love them so much. They're just so odd and delightful, and I'm so happy that I have them in my life. yeah. That is everything. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for hanging out with me, for giving me the opportunity to talk to somebody who enjoys crafty, yarny, planty goodness like I do. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And I hope that you are able to find medicinal joy somewhere and then share that with someone else. Yeah. Thank you so much for being a part of my universe. You have a wonderful day. Bye, friends.